Good afternoon, everyone. Doug Simonian over at New York Metro Weather with your latest free mesoscale discussion. This will be an update regarding the severe thunderstorms that are affecting the Northeast today. This is a satellite from as of about a half hour ago, overlaid with latest lightning strikes. So we had that batch of showers and some embedded heavy rain and thunder move through northern New Jersey, in southeast New York, and into Connecticut and Long Island Sound as well. And you can see there are a lot of lightning strikes associated with that, but also clouds as well. And the clouds and the showers actually end up stabilizing the atmosphere a little bit. And then further southwest, we see much more convective nature to the clouds as a line of severe thunderstorms develops in the mid-Atlantic, and associated lightning strikes with those as well. Notice how in between we see an area of clearing. This clearing helps to destabilize the atmosphere, which is favorable for producing severe thunderstorms. But in the from central New Jersey and northward, we still are stocked in the clouds somewhat. However, some of this clearing should move northward as the afternoon goes on, at least a little bit, though we will not get the clearing that the mid-Atlantic will get. Here's just the latest animation of the visible satellite. You can see the clearing is trying to move into the area from the mid-Atlantic, which will try to destabilize the atmosphere. This is just the latest HER models, high-resolution rapid refresh models, interpretation of the radar as the afternoon goes on. This is valid for 2 p.m., a strong, severe line of thunderstorms in the mid-Atlantic, but then further north, where the atmosphere is a little less stable, you get a weakening of this line. Because also what happens is you get this line of showers and storms this morning, so you have a lot of lift with that. And then you also have a lot of lift with the showers and thunderstorms in the mid-Atlantic. So in between that area, those areas of lift, you get a little bit of subsidence or sinking air, which is not favorable for the development of thunderstorms, which is one reason why we are not necessarily anticipating widespread severe weather in the immediate New York City metro region later this afternoon. As the afternoon goes on, this cluster and line of storms does get pretty strong from Philadelphia and southward, and then it moves into central parts of central, but mainly southern New Jersey, with maybe a few rumbles of thunder and a couple of gusty winds moving into the actual New York City metro region. This is at 4 p.m. But north of that, really not much of anything, there with still too many clouds and stable air. This is a forecast sounding. We won't get too technical with this, but this pretty much gives a description of the atmosphere throughout the entire levels, from the surface to the top of the clouds. The red line is temperature, and the green line represents dew point. So in this area is the middle of the atmosphere, and this sounding is valid for a 1 p.m. in northern New Jersey. So when you have a separation between the dew point and the temperature, that means there's some dry air aloft. And that dry air aloft may help to lead to a little bit of sunshine. And that's why we actually do see that clearing line on satellite gradually moving north. However, at the surface, there's still a lot of moisture because the dew point and temperature are together, and which means they're about the same, which leads to a lot of condensation and clouds. So there's still going to be a lot of low-level clouds even at 2 p.m. So there's not going to be that much time in northern Jersey for the low-level clouds to break and then for the atmosphere to truly destabilize. And this is actually a surface-based CAPE, and indicator of instability is still 0 because the surface is still very stable. However, the mid-levels of the atmosphere will lead to some clearing. And this same location at 2 p.m. there's a little bit of clearing at the surface and more clearing aloft. So this actually is a decent layer of instability in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and the CAPE values actually do go up a little bit. And the wind shear is also very impressive. We go from light southwesterly winds at the surface to 50-knot winds at 900 millibars, which is not too far above our heads. So that would theoretically lead to some good thunderstorm organization. However, if we're not getting the a truly unstable air mass with a lot of lift, that it's not going to be able to take advantage of that wind shear, because if there's not much lift, then the wind shear could actually tilt the thunderstorms away as opposed to sending them upward into a tall thunderstorm lightning cloud. Now, that being said, the temperatures, because of the mid-level instability, the temperatures aloft cool off very quickly. So you can still get a decent amount of lightning with the cluster of storms, even as they weaken into North Jersey and New York City because of the cold temperatures aloft and thus the ice particles. Now, this is a sounding for central and southern New Jersey. And look how, whenever you see this steep temperature line, that means we're very unstable at the surface and there's clearing. So there's sunshine, a lot of instability, and the instability continues in the mid-levels of the atmosphere as well with this, and also dry air aloft. And now that we actually can combine the surface instability to generate more surface lifting with this very favorable sounding otherwise, and the very strong wind shear, now you can get organized severe thunderstorms moving into southern New Jersey later in the afternoon. And also, when you see dry levels in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, dry conditions in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, that can help to transport strong wind gusts down to the surface via density momentum, because cold dry air is more dense than moist warm air, so it sinks to the ground. So the air containing these strong winds can sink to the ground. There could even be some small hail with the sounding as well. I do not necessarily see a tornado threat with this sounding. There's not enough rotation. Usually you need the winds to turn from southeast to southwest quickly to actually get that rotation for tornadoes. The winds are generally in the same direction though as we increase in height, so that's not really a favorable sounding for tornadoes. Just another visualization of the mid-level instability. There's lapse rates. The higher values are in the southern or in the mid-Atlantic and trying to poke up to central Jersey and northward, but still haven't moved up to that area entirely. But this will progress a little bit northward as the afternoon goes on. The surface-based cape, as of now, is still very weak north of southern New Jersey. This will increase a little bit throughout the afternoon as we get more clearing, but the real surface-based cape is in the mid-Atlantic, and that's where the highest threat of severe weather is accordingly. And thus, just to sum up our forecast, because of the pretty dangerous forecast sounding in central and southern New Jersey, we do have an enhanced concern for severe weather with strong winds and dangerous lightning likely in the storms later today, and maybe some small hail. I can't rule out an isolated tornado, but the forecast sounding to me just didn't really show the necessary rotation for one. And of course, that enhanced concern extends for the west and for the southwest into the mid-Atlantic, where the conditions are pretty prime. There is some concern further north from central New Jersey into parts of New York City, because there will be some clearing later this afternoon because of the aforementioned dry conditions aloft. So that could lead to some destabilization, just enough to get the northern clip of that line of storms to hit those areas. So there could be some gusty winds, maybe 40 miles an hour, and there could be lightning as well with the cold temperatures aloft. But then further north and further east, there won't be enough time to clear and truly destabilize, and there will also be subsidence from that initial cluster of storms that hit this morning. Additionally, the cold front itself is still well back to the west, so the storms outrun that cold front, so you're not really getting that true lifting mechanism to make up for the lack of surface-based instability. If we had a stronger cold front near the area like we did on Saturday, then this threat could have actually been a lot worse than Saturday's storms, because the soundings with the winds and the mid-level instability are stronger. So we kind of, to an extent, are going to be dodging a bullet in the New York City metro area, but that doesn't mean that there won't be storms later this afternoon. All right, so if you want to hear and watch more videos like this and read more detailed content, make sure to contact us about a premium membership. We will be sure to find a cheap deal that pertains to your weather needs. So have a good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.